Hello guys, thanks for joining my trucking mentorship program. On I will teach you guys how to become a safe and professional driver. There are companies out there that they aren't really teaching new drivers everything they need to know about driving, especially driving in winter weather, in icy roads, how to handle the rig in pretty much harsh weather situations like tough winds and all of that. And in this video, I will show you guys how to 100% stay safe out there and how to keep your CDL clean. Because there are a lot of stuff out there that could potentially be uh, harmful towards your CDL. So I will teach you guys of the best of my knowledge on how to become a safe and professional driver and to keep your CDL clean so that you could drive for how many years you wish. So thanks for joining me, and I'll keep seeing you guys on the next videos. So step one, in order for you guys to receive your CDL, you're going to want to study the written exam test. Um, I'm from California, so when I took it, it was back in 2015. There were around 150 questions. I don't know how many questions there are now. I have no clue, but when I took it, it was 150 questions. You got to check in with your local DMV. Um, they should have practice tests. They also, I was looking into the DMV site. They do have some practice tests on their website as well. So you guys might want to check those out. There is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of practice tests out there. There is also apps to practice a test. And you guys are going to want to practice this test until you get at least 80% uh, passing score or above. So you guys are going to want to make sure to repeat those tests until you get at least 80% to pass your test. Um, and also, I do recommend you guys eating healthy, as not eating junk food. Um, Try to stay more like natural wise, organic, because it does help a lot with studying, retaining the information, and especially in the time of the examination, is going to help you guys to have a sharp mind. They say you are what you eat. But yeah, especially on the day of the exam, you guys are going to want to, uh, or at least take it fasting, as in not having any food in your system. And if you do want to, uh, what's it called, eat something, make sure it's something light. That's not like fast, like fast food, junk food. Perhaps you could take some oatmeal, yogurt. But when I took my test, um, I went in. I took it at fasting because my mind is more uh, concentrated. My memory also works the best. So yeah. So once again, make sure you guys study the practice test first before you go and take the actual test at the DMB. They do offer, depending where you live, they do offer uh, retakes, but you want to make sure to ask your local DMB on the info on retakes. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Taking the driving test, air brake test, and pre-trip test. So when you guys are going to take your hands-on driving test, um, There's going to be three tests depending where you live, what state you live in, what nation you're from. Um, but I'm from California, and I took three tests. It was back in 2015, so perhaps it changed today, 2023. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I took this test. The first test I took was the air brake test, making sure that the governor cut out at the exact appropriate psi's pressures, um, making sure that the truck wasn't losing air abnormally, because if your truck is losing air really quick, it means there's a leak somewhere, and there's going to be times that you're going to have to shut down the truck and walk around the truck to hear where that leak is coming from, the air leak, and make sure to get it repaired. So there will be a couple of steps you guys are going to have to take, and then I did my pre-trip test. The examiner, he was there obviously, right? And I started from the front of the truck, making sure that the headlights worked properly, they weren't broken, no oil leaks, the tires, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, not aged, especially the front tires. You guys are going to want to make sure that they're in the best possible condition, because they are very dangerous if they explode. Checking the engine oil, the coolant reservoir too as well, making sure that it's between those lines of is going to say too hot or too cold. Make sure it's somewhere in there. If it's less than those, you're going to have a leak, or perhaps your water pump might be going out. So make sure to take it to your mechanic to get it fixed, because it sucks to break down in the middle of nowhere, and it's a waste of time. And well, road service ain't cheap. And checking the electricals, the tires, the brakes, the lights. There's different lights in the truck, in the trailer especially, and at the top of the back of the trailer too. You guys are gonna want to make sure that they're working properly. Your license plate lights, everything, just as long as you guys memorize the pre-trip test, you guys should be well. Then I took my my on hands driving test. First, he tested me on backing up the truck, then forward. Um, I did the 90-degree backing. I had to back up the trailer between some cones, blind spot backing, and from there I took it to the road. It could be a little bit frightening as you start off, especially your first time driving the truck. You're going to be there's going to be some fear there, because you've never driven a huge truck. But as long as you guys follow your trainer's advice, and all that, you guys should be well. You guys should be good. Just try to think. Don't let your feelings get in the way. Use your mind. Don't use your emotions. And take it slow. You guys don't have to rush it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode or video. Backing up 101. So the most important thing you guys are going to want to learn to master is backing up, especially at truck stops when you're tired. You've worked the 14-hour shift, and it could be difficult because your mind is tired, your body's tired. So um when I'm super tired, I just try to find the easiest spots. I don't go at the first one. When I know that the truck stop, it's a big truck stop, and it's not a stop where it gets full fast. I usually look around for an easy spot. If there's times that there's some spots that you could just pull in, you don't have to back in. But you guys are going to have to learn how to back up, and even in tight places, there's going to be times where um it's going to be tight, and the best thing to do is to practice makes uh best. Practice is pretty much what makes a person a pro. You will not get it at first. It depends on the person, but like I said, no one is born an expert. So anyways, the best place to learn backing up is not a truck stop. It's going to be a empty parking lot or a warehouse. um so if you could talk to your trainer, or if you're already on your by yourself, make sure to practice a lot before you try to get in harder places. And like I said, trying uh practicing either, I'd say perhaps you could try it at a truck stop too as well. Just make sure there's not a lot of people, because other drivers will give you a hard time. But if you guys do it in a warehouse, there's some warehouses that are not a lot of stuff going on, and you could mess, like not mess, but like practice backing up. That would that would be very helpful for you guys. And yeah, so make sure you guys take your time backing up. There's no rush, but it is good to learn how to back up quick, because when you're at a truck stop, um, some drivers, they just don't have patience and will give you a hard time. But don't let them pressure you into hitting something. So you guys got to learn how to manage the um, not getting irritated by another driver, but taking your time. Because if you hit something, it's on you. And the other driver that was pressuring you, well, he's not liable, right? So make sure you guys take your time. If you're not sure um, how it's going, get out and look. There are some drivers that will offer help in backing up in difficult situations. So take your time. There's no rush. It is good to learn how to. Well, once you guys start getting a hang of it, you will start backing up quicker. But when you start off, I don't recommend backing up quick, especially if you're backing between two rigs. And turn your hazards on. It helps. But as you guys keep getting practice, you're going to eventually get more confident, and you will start backing up quicker and without any problems. Also, there was a time where the door the warehouse gave me was just impossible to park. There was a heat truck next to it. The door they gave me was right at the end, but there was a fixed object, like really like close to where I need to space to back up. It was one of those yellow posts, whatever. So I went back to the warehouse and I told them that I needed another door. There was just no way that truck is going in there. So don't be ashamed to go back into the warehouse and tell them if it's impossible for you to park. Tell them you need another door, and there's no shame in it. Other drivers might. There's gonna be drivers that talk smack, and just ignore those, and make sure you stay safe. and that you don't become a liability, that you don't hit anything. So yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next videos. So alley docking, backing up into our warehouse, um, it's very important to learn, just as it is backing up anywhere else. So how I do it, how I was taught, how I learned is, all right, so when you guys are pulling towards the space you're going to go in, right? I usually first look, make sure the area is clean where I'm backing up. There's, if it's truck stop, make sure there's no cars. Sometimes cars are parking trucking spots. So I usually stop where I'm going to enter. Then and I do park like 10 feet away from the uh the area. You don't want to be too close to the area, but there are times that if it's too tight, you are going to have to get closer to the place if there's trucks to the area, depending how wide open the area is. So I usually stop, then I check my mirrors, make sure there's no incoming traffic. I usually start like turning the truck uh like in a 65-degree angle to start getting the truck positioned. But alley docking is it's backing up in a straight line. um I mean the 90-degree, right? There's different ways of backing up. The 90 degrees, you're supposed to take it straight and what's called backing up, but I found it more easier to just like kind of like pull out to the right, and then once I pass the area where I'm going to enter, make sure the trailer past that area where you're going to enter the lane. You're going to want to turn your steering wheel all the way to the right, and then you start backing up. You're going to want to start backing up, and but what I've learned is that once your tandems, the trailer tires, are in the lane where you're going to enter, that's where you're going to want to do the maneuver. Um, yes, you could start off before getting it positioned, but what I meant to say is check where your tandems are. You want to make sure that the trailer tandems are in the lane where you're going to enter, because it's easier to do the backing up. And yeah, so I turn it all the way to the right, and then depending the angle of the truck, you might have to pull up a couple of times. There are times that if you want the trailer to turn more faster, like for example, you're backing up and you want it to turn quicker in a straight line, you're going to want to put your drives straight. That helps turn the trailer quicker. So always make sure that your trailer is centered, especially your tandems, that is going inside the center of the lane. Um, it's better to be kind of closer to the area where you could see the truck. Just don't get too close, because that's how you know that if you're not too far from the truck or area where you can see with your eyes, that you're not too far. You'll know that you're not going to hit anything on the other side because you know that you're close to the area where you're backing up. But once again, if you're not 100% sure, get out and look. And take your time. Once you start getting a hang of it, you do it faster, quicker, just like them the goat drivers that drive the move the trailers around. But I wouldn't rush it, especially if you have a loaded trailer. There's no need in rushing too quick. Trying to park the truck. The number one thing is to be safe, to not hit anything. That's the number one goal. And also, from the steering techniques, there are times when you're backing up. Obviously, once your trailer is backed in, that you're going to want to turn your steering wheel to the left so that as you're backing up, the truck starts lining up with the trailer. So make sure you guys do that. But like I said, practice makes better, makes an expert. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So in dealing with warehouses, this is the thing. There's going to be good and bad warehouses. The thing is to just not let it get to you if a warehouse isn't professional towards you. Just try to not take it personally, um, or you, especially from some security guards. Um, just try to do your job and do the best you can, But you guys are going to want to not be a jerk or you know being polite with warehouse personnel. I mean, office worker, whatever. Because if you guys do get in their bad spot, they'll make you guys wait longer, and you guys don't want that. So make sure you guys are on their good side. Um, and make sure you guys keep your appointments too. Some have fixed appointments. Some have a open time where you can deliver from, let's say, 12 through 5 in the afternoon. But do make sure to get there in time, or if there's sometimes there'll be traffic, heavy traffic, or stuff happens, and just make sure to get a hold of your dispatcher, your broker, whatever, to let them know the reason why you're going to be late, so that when you go there, uh, they'll at least take you in or give you a reschedule. Also, you guys, I want to make sure to follow the rules they have at the warehouse. There's some warehouses that are very strict. If you don't follow their speed limit, if you don't wear a vest, if you don't turn on your hazards, um, it's pretty. It's pretty known that if a driver doesn't follow their rules, uh, they won't be going back there again. So make sure that you guys respect and obey the rules of the warehouse, especially the mega companies that are the ones who are the most strict. So for the sake of keeping being in good terms with your boss, or if you're independent, you're going to go for the independent life, independent contractor. For the sake of uh, the warehouse offering you more loads, make sure to follow their rules and be on their good side. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Tips on parking and safety. So some tips are that, in trucking, parking spots can be a lot of times uh, overfilled, where you'll go to a truck stop and you will not find the truck a parking space for your truck. So what you want to do is you want to pre-plan. Uh, Make sure how many hours you got. Make sure at what time you're gonna get there. So for example, if you're trying to park at Love's and it's like past 5 in the afternoon, just you might want to forget it and just go to another truck stop. You might want to go to a mom and pop's truck stop. They usually have a lot of parking space and all that. Also, pilots and flying J's, they tend to have more spaces. Also, TAs. I know also pilot and TAs. They also have reserved parking. So if you want to do that, you could call them ahead of time and reserve your parking for like $20. Um, and yeah, what's called you want to do that, right? And also, you want to make sure that if you're going to stop at a truck stop. Uh, for example, you're parking at a mom and pop's trucking spot. You want to make sure that if you have the option of parking in a well lit area, or sometimes there's gonna be times where you're gonna have to park in the complete dark and you're not in a really safe place. You're gonna want to take the spot that has the light. um it's for safety. You also are going to want to lock your truck, obviously. Your trailer. You're gonna want to. There's different types of locks, padlocks, but the ones that are better are the ones that are like circular, and uh, because those are hard to cut. If someone tries to cut them, you can't, because there's no way. It's only through a key. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm not completely sure what they're called, but they're like round, and they usually just go through the trailer thing, and you're able to lock it, and no one's gonna be able to cut it or whatnot. But there are some that are too small, so you're gonna want to make sure you get the bigger ones, because some of the smaller ones, they don't fit on some of the trailers. So you're gonna make sure you take thought of that. Also, some truck drivers, they like putting bungee cords on their doors. I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. Some even use the seat belts and they tie them against the doors so that if anyone tries to open the door, they can't. I've heard stories of some truck drivers that uh, you know, they were sleeping, and some random guy opened their truck and they couldn't, because the door was, the seatbelt was tied around the door handle. And I mean, I guess it's your option. There's truckers, they don't care at all. So I mean, they, whatever. But I mean, yeah, it's good to take precautions to stay safe, you know and all that. What's it called? Also, making sure you lock your truck, uh that you don't leave just um anything in your truck. If you're gonna go to the truck stop and take a shower, and make sure that if you have your valuables, take it with you. Because I've heard stories of uh trucks being of people going into trucks while the truck driver isn't in there and taking their stuff, right? So you guys are gonna make sure you want to do that. And yeah, guys. Also, but yeah, so yeah, just one more thing. So yeah, whenever you guys are out on the road, you're going to want to try to park mostly in truck stops, because I know there's trucks that like parking on the off ramps, right? Or just by themselves. That's not. I mean, it could be quieter, for those who are trying to stay away from reefers and whatnot. But It could be more dangerous because I mean you're by yourself, no one's looking out, so you know it's a risk. I always park at a truck stops. If there's no space, like for example Loves, I always know my routes. I know where are the bestest truck stops. So you could always look on Google Maps or the trucker app and see the truck stops that are around because there's a lot of truck stops. It's not only Loves, the big ones, right? All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll keep seeing you guys. Winter driving. Hello, guys. So, in this section, I'm going to talk about winter driving, how to stay safe, how to chain up, pretty much how to survive out there in the winter wonderland, right? So, first things first, when you're gonna go drive through a place where it's snowing, you usually are gonna know because it's winter, right? What's it called? But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to snow everywhere. It's mostly in the mountain passes, and it depends on the weather. It depends on Mother Earth, right? So usually, what I would do is check my weather app. Right, there's a lot of weather apps out there for truckers, radar apps, whatever, and I would look through the weather that I'm going to drive through, right, through the routes. I would follow along the routes. And for example, there was this time where I was going to make a delivery in Colorado from California, and I saw that it was going to be snowing in the Rockies, right, on I-70. So what I did, pretty much instead of taking the 15 to the 70 east, um, I took I-40 east, and then I took I-25 northwest. I'm northwest. I'm sorry, north, heading to Colorado. So that saved me, driving through the snow and having to chain up. Um, I mean, it was like 200 miles more, but I mean, hey, I guess it depends on you, right, and your company. Yeah, but what's called? I mean, if you could try to avoid that, go for it because it's less hassle. I mean, you shouldn't be fearful if you know what you're doing. Um, you know, you just have to obviously, you know, take your precautions. Make sure you have good tires in your truck. That's the most important thing. Make sure your threads are good on your drives and your steers because that's what's gonna keep you, you know, afloat. Um, you're gonna want to make sure you don't brake hard. If you're driving through snow, ice, whatever. Obviously, right, just like in the books, if there's heavy snow, I'm talking about very heavy snow. You're gonna want to take it down to 35. I know there's other drivers that they like driving faster. But I guess I mean it depends on them, right? But if it's like really snow packed, you're gonna want to slow down. You know, and just don't make hard turns if you're. So this is the thing. Don't make fast moves, right? Don't accelerate fast. Don't brake fast. Don't turn fast. If you could do that, you stay safe. Um, what's it called? Take your time. Don't follow cars. Don't tailgate cars. Right. That's like the number one thing they teach us at trucking school. Right. But um, what's called when there's snow on the ground, when there's ice on the ground, you're gonna want to take extra space. You're gonna want to, you know, stay away farther from cars because uh, some you just don't know, right? And I'm pretty sure you guys seen them whiteouts accidents that happen, the you know the pileups. Yeah, you know you're gonna want to not ever be in one of those. So that's why it's good to take, you know, your distance and always keep a lookout, looking like couple of miles ahead of you, a mile, 2 miles, what as far as you could see, right? Um, so you have time to react if you have to brake or avoid an accident. There's some drivers that they'll they'll pull out to the to like the emergency lane, and some even to avoid hitting something they'll go all the way out. But it depends on you. If you ever encounter that, it's your choice what you want to do. um right, obviously you don't want to hit nothing, but if it's an accident, there's something going on, anything could happen. But yeah, you guys want to make sure you do that. Also in chaining up, what's called, obviously, gonna have to do a video more in depth for that. um so how I would chain up, I would pretty much put the chains on other tires, the drives that I have to put it on, right? In California, they would ask us to put it on the drives and the trailer. Uh, so I would put it on the drives, which is the first drives from the steerings, if I'm not wrong. I think there might be some trucks that might be a little bit different. So you're gonna want to make sure which one is the drive tire. I would put it on all of them. Then I would pull over the truck, lock them in, and put bungee cords in them. All right. So you guys want to make sure you do that. All right, guys. So, and also you make sure to keep your coffee and your hot chocolate. All right, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. How to deal with traffic, keeping a peaceful environment during rush hour. So this is the thing, guys. You know, obviously, right? If you're getting paid by mile, you're gonna want to avoid the traffic by any cost. So if you're delivering at Los Angeles or any other city where usually there's traffic after 3, which is around the time people start coming out of work, or 7 through 8 a.m. um, in the morning, right? You're gonna want to avoid those times, right? Because you're going to want to, you know, not spend 2 3 hours in traffic. So what I would do is, if I was going to make a delivery to Los Angeles, and my appointment was at what's called 9 or earlier, 8, whatever. I would, obviously there's times you're not going to be able to avoid it at all. So you are going to want to, get try to get there earlier, 1 or 2 hours earlier, so you can make your appointment time. Um, because it could get heavy. Um, Also, what I would do is take the highway, which has the less traffic, which is usually less congested. For example, here in Southern California, LA area, Inland Empire area, the 91 tends to be very hectic, very full, overpacked, which usually it's always more full than others than the 16 to 10. So whenever I would have to go make a delivery over there or come back at rush hour time, I would avoid always 91 at all costs, because you're gonna be there for a couple of hours. If it's green, right, it's good. If it's yellow, it's somewhat. If it's red, it's kind of bad. But if it's like dark red, that's the worst. That's where you're going to be stuck for hours. Um, so you're going to want to avoid the last one at all costs. The dark red traffic, right? Um, so yeah, you're gonna want to go, try to avoid rush hour times. And also, if you can't ride, obviously it's always good to not get overwhelmed, not get anxious or whatnot. Especially if you're in LA, there's a lot of drivers that drive really fast, and it's like they're almost getting. It feels like they're about to hit you or something. just keep you calm, right? And what's called you know, I usually would, just play some music and think, hey man, you know pretty much you have to pretty much like kind of relax your mind and not get angry or whatnot, uh, but trying to stay at peace, right? I know at first it could be like, oh man, overwhelming, like um like you don't want to go through it, right? But you have to. But it's not that bad. That's why I tell you guys, if you take the routes that are less congested, that doesn't have the dark red traffic on them, uh, you could get there earlier if you take other routes. Pretty much. So I avoid that type of traffic at all times. I would always have my phone not on my hand. That's against the law. You have to keep it on right on its stand or whatever, and you right, just like a GPS, or there's even GPSs that show you the traffic too, right? So you if you see that this highway's too congested, just take take the other highway. um, Pretty much that'll save you a lot of time. um, and yeah, what's it called, another thing is that traffic dealing with traffic, um, there's going to be cars that are going to get upset, and they're gonna try want to try to cut you off or whatnot. It's better not to, if they try to get on your nerves or try to road rage it. It's better not to do it. Just avoid, ignore it. I know it could be, pissing. It could piss you off, but just for your own sake and your your career, right? Because it's better that you don't over you don't react to other people, because obviously if something happens, you get into a whatnot collision, whatnot, that affects your record, right? um but yeah, like they say, take the highway, don't take the low way or whatever, right? For your own good, right? Sometimes we just have to give up our pride, right, for our best interest, right? We have to be the bigger man, right? We do drive bigger trucks, so we have to be the bigger man. So yeah, guys. So yeah, so this is the end of it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Trip planning properly. So first of all, you're going to wanna take out your Garmin trucking map, or your GPS, your Garmin, or whatever GPS you have, and see, right. I would always, I have the Garmin. I would type in the address of where I'm going, um, and then I would see where I want to stop, where I want to fill up, um, where I want to get lunch, where I want to take my break. Sometimes you can't really always do that. So the good thing that this trucking GPS is, they'll show you the next um, truck stop, exit or whatnot. So that's good. If you don't have a truck GPS, I would recommend that you guys invest in one. But you're also gonna want to have Garmin map, right? Because I mean, some old school truck drivers, they recommend it, right? So you're gonna, if you have the budget and you want to do it, go for it, right? But yeah, it's good to be safe. Make sure you're doing that. But I think some of the GPSs that have that too, they have like a map, like the Atlas, or I'm sorry, the trucking routes app inside the GPS. So that's cool, right? Um, so yeah, also what you're gonna want to look out for, if you're a hazmat driver, if you're an overweight driver, you're gonna want to make sure that the routes you're taking are you have the permits for them, and that you have the permission to go through wherever you're going through. Because there's, from what I've seen, there's, they need permission, right? Um, yeah, you're also gonna want to make sure you look out for low bridges. Um, that you're not going through a route that has a low bridge. Usually, most of them they're in the East Coast, so New York City parks and all that. You're gonna want to make sure you look out for that, because you don't want to end your career, right? um, so yeah, pretty much, it's not that difficult, but it's better that you trip plan so that you can choose wisely where you're going to eat, right? You're not gonna want to just eat just anything, right? Just anything hot food that's on the shelf, right? I mean, if you like that, that's good for you. But I mean, if you're able to trip plan and you know where you're going, and if you're able to stop in the bestest restaurants or food places, it's recommendable, right? Because you know you are what you eat. That's what they say, right? And I would always look out for that. There's a lot of mom and pops truck stops that have pretty decent restaurants. You'll be able to get yourself a good steak, vegetables, mashed potato, and all that. There's even some of these mom and pop truck stops. They're pretty cool. And yeah, so you're gonna want to make sure that if you're an owner operator, if you're gonna go into owner operator, that you're going to a fuel station where they have the cheapest, obviously, right? Depends where you want to pump, right? If you want good fuel, or whatever, if you're on a budget, you're gonna want to make sure. Usually the mom and pops, they're the cheapest, so there we go. And yeah, uh so for example, if you're gonna make a delivery in in the city of Los Angeles, right? And you have to make a delivery at 7 a.m. or 8 or 9 a.m., which is usually around rush hour, right? You're gonna want to make sure that if you have the hours, that you try to park near it. I believe there's a couple of truck stops down there, or places where you could park legally. I mean, it's better for you. If not, you're gonna have to wake up earlier and try to avoid that that rush hour, if you're trying to avoid it. So yeah, guys. So yeah, this is pretty much all I have for right now. And yeah, guys. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll keep seeing you guys in the next section. Hours of service: staying legal yet making the most out of it. So hours of service, right? If they haven't taught you yet in school, usually, you're going to have 14 hours of total on duty time, 11 hours of drive time, and you're going to have to take your 30-minute break before the 5 or 8 hour, depending what your company asks for. But usually, you know, DOT asks that you take it before 8 hours. So you're gonna want to make sure you do that. Also, you're gonna want to make sure, obviously, you take your 10-hour reset. Um, and that obviously most of the trucks nowadays that have e-logs, and you're gonna want to be careful that you don't move your truck. Some do allow you to move under 5 miles per hour. So I know there's times that you're gonna have to move for whatever reason. So make sure you keep it under the five, or depending on what e-log you're using. Um, so yeah, you know, pretty much. Um, always also right. Always you're gonna want to make sure you're punching in your DVIR, your pre-trip, your post-trip, um, putting in your bill of lading information in the system, right? Um, everything it asks for you, it asks of you. I'm sorry. Uh, so yeah, guys, it's pretty simple. Usually nowadays, elogs do everything for us. So yeah. Um, so yeah, guys, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next course. DAC report. What on earth is a DAC report? So this is a thing that I wasn't taught in trucking school. They told us about PSP, about all the drug screens, all that, right? But not about a DAC report. Why aren't trucking schools teaching on this? I'm not saying perhaps not all of them do, but I know a lot of them, from what I've heard, don't do it. The reason why, I don't know. Perhaps we know why, or I don't know. But a DAC report, this is the thing that you're going to want to look more after than that you're gonna want to take more seriously than your MVR or your criminal background. Because in the trucking world, this is more serious than your driving record or your criminal back. If you have a criminal background, or whatever, hopefully not, right? And this things, this DAC report, it's like a credit report for truckers. Uh, 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 Previous employment history, which pretty much your past employers, or even if you go to a company and you just went for orientation, they can go into your DAC report and put make they could even make stuff up. I've heard a lot of drivers that uh, some carriers have put bad stuff that's not true or overreacted because for whatever reason. Um, some they do it for uh, to get back at the driver. There is evil out there, sadly. So you're gonna want to make sure that you're careful which company you're applying to as well. Um, so pretty much, like I said, they could what goes on your DAC report. It's your past employment up to, from what I heard, 7 or 10 years. Everything your past employer has said about you. If you even if you perhaps ran over a curve with the trailer or whatnot, or even got a little scratch or whatnot, they'll put that in your DAC report, and now they're going to consider you a dangerous driver. And guess what? Not many companies are gonna want to hire you because of that. So pretty much that report is like a gossip report where you know you could try to dispute it but from what I heard, you could dispute it, but it doesn't mean it's gonna come off of it unless you get a lawyer or talk to the company. So this is something that a lot of drivers, including myself, does not like and think it should be done away with. Because I mean, a past employer could say anything, make up any lie, because we all know that not every trucking company out there is going to necessarily be a good one. So you're gonna want to make sure that you're going to a good trucking company. You're working for a good one if you're gonna be a company driver or even a lease operator. Like to say, it's a doggy dog world out there. Um, so yeah, so you're gonna want to make sure that you stay in good terms with your employer. I mean, they could be evil and all that, but if you try to be get back at them or whatnot, they're gonna put you down as a bad driver, as driver that doesn't have a good character and that all that, you know. So you're gonna want to be careful with that. Um, but yeah, way to do that to check your DAG reports. You're gonna want to check out hireright.com. Uh, there's also Driver IQ and what's called the other one is called what's called Driver. I know it's Tire Rack, Driver IQ, and the other one. Let me just get it real quick. Let me see. The other one is called. Where was it at? Or Driver Facts, right? Yeah, Driver Facts. So you're gonna have to go in there, put in your information, and I think for Hire Right, you have to call them. They have a number, so you have to call them in and request a report. And if you see anything in your report that doesn't seem fair, that it's not true, or whatnot, you could dispute it with Hire Right or any of the other companies. Uh, so yeah, guys, you're gonna want to make sure if that above everything else that you try to keep this thing squeaky clean if you want to get the best top jobs. All right, guys. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll keep seeing you guys. Hello, guys. This is the next section, staying road smart. So this is the thing, right, about driving smart, right? You're going to want to make sure that you're always looking out for the four wheelers because most of the accidents they're caused by four wheelers because they're either on their phone, watching, scrolling through social media or whatnot, and then they end up hitting the car next to them or whatnot. So, if you ever encounter a driver that's driving next to you and he seems to be getting too close to you, just honk at him, right? Use your city horn. Try to move away, right? Two, try to avoid them. Not too much. Just be careful you don't get yourself in a collision either. Or brake, let them go, keep going, so they could get ahead of you. Um, Also, you're gonna want to make sure that you're paying attention to the road signs, right? For example, in Arizona, there's some highways that says tough road ahead, right? Because I believe some of the road isn't taken care of. So there's some parts in Arizona on I-10 where it's very rough and your truck is going to jump. Believe me. Even in Texas too. Even in Texas, I've been in Texas on the 20, and I've there's some areas where they're very tough. Um, the road. Um, Also, you're gonna want to make sure that obviously, right, you're not driving over the speed limit. If you're going downhill, that you check your limit, make sure you're using your jake brake and not going over the speed limit, following all the rules, all the laws of each state, and obviously you not use your cell phone because um, it's a distraction, right? Play music or whatnot, right? But I do not recommend that using cell phone while driving at all. Heck no. Um, what's called another thing you're gonna want to look out for is that what's called that you're looking out for animals. I believe over there in Wyoming, all those areas, you're gonna encounter a lot of bunnies and stuff. I ran over a couple of them sadly, and it could scar you, right? Um, so yeah. Also, deers. You're gonna want to look out for deers. Um, that you don't hit one or an elk or anything else. There's donkeys in Nevada. Um, what's called just look out. Just look out for them and all that. So yeah, just keeping your staying alert, um, getting your sleep. Obviously, you want to get at least your 8 hours of sleep, um, so you could stay alert at all times and that you're not falling asleep. I totally recommend that you're getting at least your 8 hours of sleep. That's your most important priority thing in trucking. Um, yeah, guys. Um, Also, obviously, right, doing your pre-trip, your post-trip, which will keep you safe. Your tires, your lug nuts, everything. Uh, that everything's secured, properly mounted, and all that. All right, guys. Well, I'll keep seeing you guys, and remember, stay road smart. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next section. How to drive safely in high wind situations. So this is a very important thing you have to pay attention to. What's called, because if you're going to through a area where it's very windy, you have the possibility that you could tip over and you know squish a car or whatnot, whatever might be next to you. That's bad. Um, So usually, uh, high wind areas are the most tough ones, the most dangerous ones I've heard of, and I've experienced as well as in Wyoming. Um, what's called I-80, right? Um, Pretty much, what you want to do is you want to slow down. You want to slow down the truck, right? And if I mean, usually if it's very bad, if I'm going 75, I'll slow it down to 65. And if it's really bad, like bad, I'll slow it down more, perhaps 55. Especially if you're empty, right? Because when you're empty, it's when you're able to, uh, you know, tip over easier. Um, Also in overpasses, you're gonna want to make sure that you're careful going over overpasses. What's called because since it's higher, there's the possibility of winds hitting you higher, so you're gonna want to slow it down a bit. And yeah, pretty much. Like for example, over here in Palmdale or Palm Springs. Winds tend to hit really high there. There's a lot of these things right here. Those electricity generators, whatever they're called, because it's always usually windy a lot there. So you're gonna want to slow it down. Usually, what's called there's this time where I saw a video on social media. There was this truck driver that since it was so windy, a lot of trucks were being tipped over. A truck driver pretty much jackknifed his truck. Not that he like in an accident, but he parked in a jackknife position so that the truck could be like so that the wind could not tip it over, right? But also, I believe if you are able to park in the direction where the wind is coming, like straight, right, you'll be good. But if it's hitting you sideways, yeah, and it's like over 40, 50 miles an hour, yeah, you're gonna wanna pull it over. Usually they'll close the roads. There was a time where I was gonna make a delivery in Colorado, in Denver, and I was going on I-25. I stopped at Las Vegas, not Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a little city called Las Vegas in New Mexico, and they shut the road, and I stayed there for a bit. I went to a cute little restaurant, got some meat, right, some grub, and yeah, usually, like I said, if it's very dangerous, they'll shut the roads. Um, but still, there's times where we have to take our own precautions, right? For example, in Wyoming, I also seen videos where um, and this is a sad one where it was so windy that a truck fell over a policeman. So that's the thing, guys. It's trucking could be a dangerous job, right? But that's what we're here to teach you guys, to show you guys the how to stay safe out there, and all that. Also, for one of my stories, let me try to think. Yeah, so there have been times where I was driving. The ones that'll try to get you more are the wind gusts, where it's kind of windy, but all of a sudden, like a wind gust of 70 or 90 miles an hour will hit you. Just don't panic, man. Don't panic, guys. It could be scary because it's like it's all about to tip you over. But if you usually try to brake, and even some drivers, they could like counter steer it, like, I mean, it's out there. I mean, you could try to save it if you feel like if it's already tipping you over, um, some, or even try to turn a little bit to the left to try to save it. But it's, I mean, it's if you're already getting tipped over, man, at least try to brake, man, but just don't get in an accident. um what's it called, so yeah, that's why I say, it's better to slow down if it's very windy, and you're empty. You're gonna want to not go too fast. Try to keep it at least at 65 or lower, depending. If it's really really tough and you feel like it's about to tip you over, knock it down to 55. um but yeah, make sure you have your seatbelt on, and if anything, man, just hope for the best, right? So yeah, guys, thanks for watching this section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Making the most out of your trip. So obviously, if you're an owner operator, or if your company doesn't mind you, or you have time, man. There's times where you're you are able to, if you have the time and you would like to, there's places where you could, there's some rivers where there's truck access, and you could park your truck and go swimming for a while. Over here on I-10, uh, you guys know where that, if you've been driving for a while, or if you've ever been through there, you know that there's a river on I-10 heading towards Arizona. um, and I believe it's close to the line, the state lines, right? So there's a place where you could pull out. I believe there's like a pilot or a flying j around there too as well. You could take that exit, and there's like a dirt lot where you could park, and if you want to go fishing, or take a swim or whatnot, or take some time off for your break, you're able to. It really helps, especially if you're always on the truck. I've been there, where what's it called, you know um, it's like you get sick of being in the truck too long, and or truck stops or whatnot. It really helps your mental health to get out and breathe in that fresh air, that nature, and pretty much. Also, I believe on I 395 heading towards Reno. There's a couple of spots, if you guys have been through there, where there's like a lot of like curbs and all that. Almost getting close to there, up there in Nevada. there's a couple of spots where you're able to pull over your truck to the side, and you could get off and go for a walk, breathe in the fresh air. Uh, if you want to, take soak in whatever, you can do it. I've seen a couple of drivers doing it. I've done it myself, and it's pretty refreshing. Um, what's called? There was this time where I was making a delivery to Denver, and they closed I-70. They were doing rock removals in the mountain area. You guys know that area where there's like, it says like caution rock slide area. So they were doing cleanup on the rocks. They were blowing up rocks and doing cleanups. So they shut down the highway, and I stayed at a rest area. And you guys know how, if you've been through there, there's like a river next to it. So I parked there. What's called and there's river access. Uh, so I got off. I was there for like 4 or 5 hours until they reopened the highway, and I took I went in the water. I took a little dive. I got a couple of fishes. There were some fish, believe it or not, hanging around there in the water. I got a little baggie, bagged them up, and took them with me. And also, made a couple of friends. Some other truck drivers, they shared some food with me. I didn't have like food like that. Just like regulars, because when I'm out, I always eat at like at truck stops or restaurants or whatnot. But yeah, if you're a truck driver, you're gonna want to have some reserves of food, right? Because you just don't know if the highway gets shut down, especially in winter. If something bad happens, you're gonna want to have some food, some water. Um, so yeah, I was there for 4 or 5 hours. I had a good time, and right there in the river, a lot of people they're going down the stream there. What they call it, whitewater rafting, whatever, when they're going down the stream in the little boat and all that. But yeah, also another thing is that one of the things that will make the most of your trip is going to a restaurant. There's a lot of truck stops that if you look into it, what was that called? The one that I have on, let me see it on. The one that I use a lot to look at truck stops is called let's get it real quick. Yeah, Trucker Path. Trucker Path is a good app to see the truck stops that you're going through, or whatnot. Let me see. I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, for example, let's say you're heading towards you're in Texas and you want to get the bestest barbecue. There was this time where I made a delivery in Houston, and on my way back, uh, it wasn't a truck stop, but it was like a little restaurant, homemade restaurant. I saw it on the maps. They're not truck stops, but they'll still be under. Or if you click on a truck stop and you go to restaurants, it'll show you the restaurants or the food that's available to truckers. So let's say, for example, I click on this truck stop right here, WTG Fuels, and then I click nearby, and it'll show you all the restaurants that are nearby. JP's Drive Through, Dinner, Gas and Grub, Hidalgo, Sonic, Subway, and it shows you how far away they are from the truck stop. Some of them are very close to the truck stop, so you could walk to it. But if you want to make sure, if you want to drive to it, to a cool little restaurant, um, you should always look right here in the maps. Right here, you could see on the live maps, um, on the radar maps, live maps, I believe it's called, where you could see if there's parking for your truck. For example, there's this. um there's this like small gas station called Santiago, and if I'm trying to go to the restroom or whatnot, or I'm trying to grab some food from there, I'm looking right here at the GPS and I can see that I'm able to park behind it. There's entry for it big enough for the truck and exit for it as well. So let's see. Let me see if you guys can see it right here. Right here. So you could enter and get out of there easily if you're, for example, trying to go through this spot, trying to get something to eat here. So that's what I would do. And this made it such a happier trips when because I was no longer getting truck stop food, you know, but I was getting food that I wanted and delicious food with 5 stars, reviews, especially in Texas. This Golden Nugget over there. If you're ever in Texas, I-40 in where was it called east of in Amarillo, Texas. There's this truck stop. It's a mom and pops. They have the best barbecue. There's barbecue everywhere. So if you're ever in Texas, make sure you try the barbecue. It's life changing. And yeah, guys, make sure you go for the 5 review restaurants too as well, because you don't want to be going to the restaurant all day, if you catch what I'm saying. um, so yeah, guys, this is how to make the most of your trip. And thanks for watching, guys. And I'll keep seeing you guys in the next one, in the next sections. God bless. Hello, guys. Thanks for joining me for dealing with stress. In this section, I'm going to talk about how to deal with stress. Obviously, so one of the things that truck drivers face is stress because of delivery times, dispatchers, traffic, and on, right? So it's better to not get angry. If you're gonna be delayed, don't get upset. Just understand that sometimes stuff happens, and for your health, it's better to not get upset and just take it easy, right? And what's called pretty much. Also, a way to deal with stress too is to stretch and exercise. It's or go for a walk if you're able to. Go for a walk, breathe in that fresh air, get your mind off of whatever you're going through, and try to forget what the bad. If there's anything bad that's happening to you, just forget about it completely. Just understand and realize that stuff happens, but just try not to dwell in whatever you might be going through. um Also, get your favorite drink. Buy some chocolate, man. If you're able to buy some chocolate, they say that chocolate, you know, um, uh, pretty much gives you the same feeling as feeling love or something like that, endorphins or something like that. Um, you know, if you're a man or a woman of faith, man, pray it out, man. It really helps. You know, you'll get that peace and all that, and whatnot. Um, but yeah, one of the most important things of dealing with stress is or fatigue. It's don't overeat. Don't eat junk food. I try to stay away from like artificial artificial flavors. Stay away from all that and watch. You're gonna feel happier. Um, Try fruits, and I know there's some guys that they take um they're like vapors, right? I mean, I don't do that, but I know there's some guys that they use vapors, um, and they're legal, right? It's nicotine. I mean, if you do that, go for it. If you like it, I mean, it helps you. Go for it, man. And but yeah, I don't do that. I don't I don't take that stuff. But yeah, guys, and try to get your rest, man. Get your mind off of things. Play some cool music. Play your favorite music. Put some movies, whatever, if you're able to, and just get your mind off of whatever you're going to. Like that song says, right? Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be all right, right? So yeah, guys. What's called yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next section. Keeping up with mental health. So, in keeping up with mental health, if you're an OTR driver, regional driver, and you're away from home too much, it could be kind of hard on you. So, make sure to, hey, if you're missing your family, man, hit them up on the phone, man. Nowadays, we have FaceTime, right? You can see your family through the phone on live. Uh, yeah, man, it's if you don't know about it, now you know. I know uh, some folks perhaps don't know about this technology yet, but yeah, if you have an iPhone, a smartphone, whatever other phone you have, that's a smartphone. You could contact your loved ones. What's called in real time, right? Um, Also, keeping up with mental health. You're gonna want to obviously get your sleep. Your, you know, that has a lot to do with mental health. Because if you're not sleeping well, your brain doesn't work correctly. Your memory, all that, according to doctors, scientists, right? I'm saying this because I've learned this from trucking school, right, and all that. So yeah, make sure you guys get your rest, right? 8 hours of sleep at least. I mean, you could try to drink all the coffee you want, but it just blocks the sleep. But you're still eventually gonna need to get that sleep. It's better to get that sleep, man. Um, what's called and obviously, right, eating healthy, um, not watching too much screen time at night. Um, you know, trying to stay away from drama and all that too. But yeah, guys, this is pretty much all I have. Um, where Yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Eating healthy while traveling. So one of the hardest things for a truck driver, toughest things for a truck driver is looking for healthy food. Um, that's why in the previous videos I tell you guys that it's better to trip plan accordingly, to know what's around you, because there's not just truck stop food. There's restaurants around you near to the truck stops, or restaurants where you could pull in where there's room enough for your rig to park and get good and healthy food. Also, some drivers, that they'll have refrigerators. If you have a refrigerator, if you don't have one, you could purchase one at a truck stop and connect it to your truck. Keep fruit in there, vegetables, meat, whatever you need, and what's called pretty much, just stock up, right? A lot of drivers, they go to Walmart, others go to whatever, a store uh, that's better for them, right? um so yeah, stocking up, fruits, apples, oranges, all that, right? And like I said, guys, it's better to stay away from artificial foods, right? No GMO. I mean, that's me. If you guys like those, go for it, right? But yeah, because the healthier you eat, the best you're gonna feel. You're not gonna get overweight. and what's called, you're gonna be more on point, um, you know, sharp. Your mind is gonna be sharper. Your driving skills are gonna be better, and all of the above. Um, so yeah, guys, what I would eat. Try to get a lot is there's some truck stops too that they have fruits cut up if you don't already have some in little cups. It's like two for $6. I mean, but yeah. Um, some drivers they have their, if your company allows it or you're what comfortable. Some drivers that have little gas stoves, or if you don't want those or you're not allowed to, you could get an electric cooker, right? And cook your food. Some drivers, I've seen drivers cooking meat, vegetables, um, all types of stuff. So what's called it's pretty. I think it's pretty cool. That cooking and pretty much for oneself, right? Because you know what you're eating. All right. So yeah. So this is the end of it, guys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Emergency on the road. So it's a tough situation. What's called, perhaps you're out of in the middle of nowhere, and there's no one around, right? Obviously, you're gonna want to call 911. If you have to call 911, if you're not feeling well, make sure to pull over to the nearest exit, or if you have to park right away, on the emergency lane. um and I believe there's some hospitals or uh, you know insurance that you could call your doctor on live call, and he could try to diagnose what's going on with you, and he could try to give you remedies. What I do, if I know what I have, I'll go on Google and look for natural remedies, and they always help for me. They're always good for me, and they've worked. um, but it's up to you guys, if obviously, if which way you want to go. um but yeah, for example, there's a lot of remedies um natural remedies for headaches, pains, all that. I mean, if you like Advil, go for it, take Advil or whatnot. But yeah, another thing you guys want to take with you guys in the truck is a first aid kit. um a first aid kit helps if you have a cut, if some have for wounds, for bigger wounds, if you're ever in an accident, hopefully not, and you have like, for example, like a huge wound that's bleeding. There's these first aid kits have like this really huge, like band-aids, type of band-aids, that if you use it, you could help and put pressure on it, you could help stop like the bleeding and stuff like that. Some of the other first aid kits, they have like these little pouches where if you squeeze them, you crush them, they become really cold. Those help for like um, like if you sprained something, or if a part of your body got a lot of inflammation, right? um, it's not necessarily medical advice, but this is just what I do. If I would still recommend you guys to contact your professional, doctor or whatever other professional you would have to contact. Um, but this is what I would do. And yeah, you know, um, But yeah, that's the thing that also, if you have to call in one and you're far away from a hospital, the good thing is that they have helicopters, right? And some you gotta make sure that your health insurance covers it too, and all that. So yeah, guys, you're gonna want to make sure that you stay safe and healthy, right, at all times. All right, guys. So I'll keep seeing you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next round. Maintaining the truck, staying up to date on maintenance. So what's it called? Pretty much, obviously, right. You're gonna want to keep a safe truck, right? Be it company or owner operator. Um, what's it called? You're always gonna want to make sure that your tires are good. You know, no abrasions, bubbles, cuts. Um, not too thin, no less than one second of a quarter or whatnot. All that. Um, that pretty much, you're keeping your brakes according to spec, according to your local trucking laws, right? Depending where you live, if you're in US, if you're in Canada, if you're in any other part of the country of the world, that you're staying legal, right? um, and the brakes, tires, your fuel tanks, right? That's something that a lot of people forsake. uh, want to make sure your truck's not rusted. Rusted trucks, you gotta be careful with those. Your jake brake, very important. Making sure it's always working when you need it, because it can be dangerous. What's it called? Your windshields, every part of the truck, right? Also, I believe a lot of trucking companies, smaller ones, they'll have their what's called contacts with local shops. They have they'll do contracts, or they'll have accounts. I know some trucking companies have accounts with Love's, TA, all that, and I believe they get discounts. So that's good, for them. And like I like to say, it's better to do preventative maintenance on your truck, because if you could get it fixed, um, it's better, because if you break down in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be more expensive for your company, or if you're an owner operator for yourself. Road service is not cheap, and pretty much that's the thing. Um, and another thing, from my experience, is that pretty much always right during your pre-trip. I know it could be kind of annoying to some drivers, or whatnot, but it's good to do your pre-trip, your post-trips, because it's gonna keep you safe and up to date, right? Uh, with every piece working together, especially when the truck is getting their 90-day inspection, right? Always doing those, right? And pretty much, and pretty much keeping a lot of companies, they keep trucking trucking I put trucking everything. They keep like a paper log, right, or some type of logs of the maintenance they do on the trucks, to make sure it stay up to date for oil changes, filters, oiling, all that, right? So it's recommendable to have a paper, like a sheet or page, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that you have that you're keeping up to date with your maintenance, right? So yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll keep seeing you guys. 1099 or W-2. Um, if you're a company, obviously, right, company driver, you're gonna get a W-2. I believe there's some companies that do 1099 or W-2, but I mean, it depends, right, what you want to do, or are able to. I know for 1099 drivers, they are able to keep their money and do tax deductions on their taxes for food, for work equipment, and there's a list of stuff that are able to be deducted. So make sure that you look into that to your local state and tax guides. Um, what's called yeah, I know there's drivers they like 1099 over W-2, others W-2 or 1099. I guess it depends in what you want to do. But yeah, I totally recommend that if you're trying to go more in depth, that you contact your local tax guy to find out more about it. All right, guys. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next round. What to do if I'm involved in an accident with a four wheeler or any type of accident? So the thing you guys are gonna want to do is obviously stay safe. You're gonna want to record, take pictures of the accident scene, of everything around you, the signs. It's always good to do that to save yourself. Um, Obviously, having a dash cam is very helpful to stay keep your CDL clean and all that. and and yeah, calling 911, uh, getting the other person's insurance information, and above all, staying safe, right? Making sure that you know nothing else happens, no other car runs behind you guys and hit you guys or whatnot, man. So yeah, pretty much. Well, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next round. What to do if I get hurt on the job? For W-2 employees only, or if you have workers' comp insurance. Um, so if you get hurt on the job, Bob, obviously, right, you're gonna want to report it, right? Um, go to the hospital or whatnot. But it's always good to try to get your primary care doctor on it, for various good reasons. Um, and get um, try to get that healed as quick as possible. By getting a primary care doctor is the most important thing, uh, pretty much, to get it taken care of. So yeah, guys. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Truck GPS a must. Um, Yeah, first of all, you guys are gonna want to make sure that your GPS, it's not a car GPS, but a truck GPS. There's some truck GPSs that you still have to choose a truck. They have the car or truck option, semi truck option. Um, they have the Rand McNally's or the other the Garmin ones. Um, I like more the Garmin. They have you know the, I have one, and it has dash cam as well, so that's good. um, because they do help. You could change the settings of arriving there faster by taking other truck routes or whatnot. There's a whole bunch of settings in there. They even have a road. They have the trucker road maps in there. So if you want to look at all the truck routes around the country, you could do that as well. And but yeah, some people also recommend having uh, the paper book maps as well. So if you're a person who likes having those, go for it, man. They're like $50, I believe, in the truck stops and all that. But yeah, anyways, it's still good to obviously think critically. Use what's called you know, like they say, don't let the GPS do all your decisions. You use your mind. If a GPS is telling you to merge onto a river, don't do it. You gotta, obviously use, your mind, right? And the GPS is not gonna do all the decisions because if it's telling you, like I said, to turn to a river or go somewhere where you don't fit, don't do it. Um, there's always a time to turn around, right? You could always find a way to turn around and come back and whatnot. Um, but yeah, what I like about the garments is that they show you when the nearest truck stops that are coming up. That's what I like about them. They also show you the speed you're going and other stuff. You guys could change the settings what you wanted to show you, your destination time, miles, and all that. Um, but I highly recommend it too. You could in your truck GPS, you could check all the truck stops that are around you, wherever lodging, fuel stations, whatever you want to find, um, you'll find there, and pretty much. But yeah, they're not they're not cheap, nor are they too expensive. I believe they're when I got mine, it was like $500. Um, I got I think it was like the medium size one, the one that has a dash cam. So yeah, I totally recommend you guys to invest in one. They're totally they're gonna help you guys out a lot in staying in legal truck routes and all of the above. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll keep seeing you guys in the next section. Why you need a dash cam? There are many reasons why you need a dash cam. Um, First of all, to keep your CDL clean, safe, because I mean we are in a real world and stuff happens. Someone could back into you. You could run over a deer. A lot of stuff could happen, right? Um, what's called? There's some truck GPS systems that have a dash cam. So I mean, that's good. You just gotta make sure it's always recording. Uh, and yeah, I have one of those, and I love it. Um, so yeah, obviously you're gonna need a dash cam in case a four wheeler tries to brake check you and you end up hitting them. Um, for many reasons, it's or someone tries to break into your truck or whatnot. There's many reasons why you need a dash cam, but yeah, it's totally recommendable for a trucker to have it to keep your CDL safe, you know, and all of that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hello, guys. Thanks for watching. This is the next section, my story of how I hit a deer. How to stay safe if you ever encounter one. So when I started driving back in the 2015, I was driving through the beautiful state of Wyoming, and I was just driving, and a deer crossed my path, and but there was one behind it, and I ended up hitting it. But the crazy thing is that the like the day before, I got a call from the company telling me that if I ever encounter a deer, to not try to avoid it, to take it head on if you can't, you know, because if you try to steer away from it, you could tip over the truck. Um, but yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? So yeah, I was just driving and it happened all of a sudden out of nowhere. And what's called yeah, it ended up messing up the whole front part of the truck. The AC condenser was broken. They had to replace the front end of the truck, like the hood or the grill, some parts of the AC system, and yeah, that's the thing. Gotta be careful out there. It's some trucks, they have the uh, those what are they called, the deer hitters. I don't know what they call it, right? But the guards, the fender guards, whatever they call it. And I guess it's good to have those in the trucks. Um, the grills, right, or whatever. Um, and yeah, I hit one, right, but it happened. But yeah, have you guys ever encounter a deer like that? It's if you could try to slow down and brake, it's better so that you don't end up hitting it. There was a time where I was driving through a mountain area in Oregon, like forest area, and it was like 2 in the morning. I was driving by myself. It was like a little two-way street, trucking street, right? And what's it called there were a lot of deers, like walking by the street. I started honking my air horn. I turned on my high headlights, right, the higher ones, and I just kept hitting the air horn, to scare them away. I slowed down. I was going like 30. I was like, hopefully not. Hopefully a deer doesn't pop out of nowhere, and I end up taking it out, and he ends up taking out the truck lights. And but yeah, it's good to slow down if if you ever encounter a situation that I encounter where I saw a bunch of them just walking by. I started hitting the air horn to scare them away, and it'll scare them away. And pretty much, if I wouldn't have slowed down that time, I would have taken one. But yeah, guys, stay safe, guys, out there, and I'll keep seeing you guys. We're almost to the end, so I'll keep seeing you guys. What you need if you want to work for a good, high-paying trucking company. So this is the thing, right? You're gonna want to, when you get off of trucking school or whatnot, or if you're gonna stay there in the trucking school place company, to don't have a lot of don't be jumping around. It's not good to. I know there's some drivers that jump from company to company. We know there's companies that lie and what's called whatnot. But usually the smaller carriers, like family owned ones, they're the most uh, you know uh, from what I heard and seen, best companies to work with. So medium size, family owned companies, smaller ones, they're better paying and all that, and they treat you guys better and all that. Um, but yeah, if you want to work for the bigger dogs like Costco or um, other of them out there, you want to make sure you keep a good employment history, right? Don't have too much. Don't be jumping company to company. Make sure that uh, you go for the right company, and stay there as long as possible. Um, and what's called also, like I said, right, keeping your DAC report clean. The other reason why I tell you guys not to be going from company to company is because if you encounter one of the companies that don't care about their drivers and they're trying to retaliate against you for leaving because they're not paying you what they promised you, they're gonna put something on that deck report that's gonna end up affecting you, from getting a good trucking job. So you guys are gonna are gonna want to make sure that you go for a right company or a good company, and keep that DAC report clean, and to check them out. If there's something you need to dispute it, make sure to dispute it. And even some people, they'll get lawyers to get stuff removed. That's a complete lie, which it takes time and money. Um, but yeah, pretty much also keeping your driving record clean. Stay away from tickets. What's called speeding tickets, any type of tickets. Trucking routes, make sure to stay in truck routes, because if you're not driving in truck routes, you could get tickets from some police departments. Um, and what's it called yeah, um, pretty much keeping a clean background and drug screen, right? You can't be drinking or doing any other substance if you're a driver. It's eventually gonna cut up to you, and it's better to give it up before it's too late. But yeah, guys. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Applying for the right trucking job. So this is one of the things also, other than the deck report, that I wish someone taught me earlier in my career as a truck driver. S- Um, what's called is that you want to make sure that, like I said, you apply for the right job, trucking job, because if you don't, it could affect your deck report, and you know it'll save you a lot of time, and you from being upset. Um, so one of the ways to apply for the right trucking job, you're gonna want to check out Indeed job search engine. Um, you could Google it. For example, this company's name, reviews, and it'll show you Indeed, and you could see all the reviews. Just as they have DAC reports on drivers, we could see their reports from previous drivers that work for them, and you can see how many stars they have: one, two, three, four, five of the reviews. Some companies have three, some have two, some have five, some have whatever many stars they have. It's good to check that out, and to read the reviews. You could also see at what speed their trucks are governed, time, I mean pay, how much they pay. Do they pay you hourly? Do they pay you overtime? Do they pay you for everything you do, or mileage, right? It'll show you there in the application. It's not good to rush into a company right away just because it's available, because you have to know what you're getting yourself into. um, does that company have a good maintenance record? Do they keep um, up to date with their equipment? Because if they don't, that's gonna affect your record, your PSP record, and you could eventually even get into an accident that will affect your driver's license. Um, so yeah, what's it called? Yeah, so you're gonna want to go Indeed. Also, I believe there's another site called, if I'm not wrong, Truck Stop. If I'm not wrong, or if you Google, there's trucker sites out there where you could ask questions, or you could ask the drivers that work there as well how they like it. Um, but yeah, it's very important that you guys do research on the company that you're applying for, so that you don't get taken advantage of, because sadly there are bad companies out there, but there are good companies too as well. Um, but yeah, what's called yeah, but yeah, guys, this is the end of the course, e-course. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have a question and I'm able to get back to it, I will leave an email, and what's it called If I'm able to answer it, I'll answer it as soon as I can. And I'll see you guys. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I hope for the best, that this will help you, and it will. And I'll keep seeing you guys. All right, guys, you guys have a good one.